What's up, everybody? My name is Vincent. Welcome to Cryptolution, where we talk about everything under the moon in the crypto universe. Today is Friday, April 12th. Now, in today's video, I'm going to give you my crazy and shocking price prediction for Bitcoin. Now, this is in regards to the upcoming bull cycle that we're going to have really soon, because we do know that the Bitcoin halving is only a week away. Now, why is this really important to really understand what's going on with Bitcoin? We're going to understand why ETFs are accumulating. Or most importantly, we're going to be looking at the charting and analysis, what we've seen in the historical data of Bitcoin. That will allow us to understand what's going to happen with the Bitcoin price. And I want to share with you some catalyst events that could send this Bitcoin price to the upside, and why it's really important to own at least one Bitcoin in your portfolio, because it could be life-changing. So with that said, none of this is financial advice. This is just my own opinion. I am an entertainer. So when you're doing your own due diligence while investing into Bitcoin, you are taking full responsibility over your investments. So with that said, let's go ahead and begin by smashing that like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join our Patreon page. And most importantly, please be careful with any of the scammers down in the comments below. I will never reach out via WhatsApp, Telegram, direct message, or email, so please be careful and invest safely. So guys and girls, let's get right into it. So right now, Bitcoin's price is around $68,000. Now we're gonna look into who's been accumulating. Right now, we do know that GBTC, also known as the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, ever since their ETF was launched, a lot of their portfolios have been liquidating their positions. So they've been selling off tons and tons of Bitcoin in the billions of dollars. And right now, the amount of selling pressure out of the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust has actually been weakening. That means that there hasn't been as much Bitcoin selling over the past few days. Who's been accumulating that bag? Well, it's obviously all these ETFs, when it's called BlackRock, Fidelity, which by the way, hold the most total Bitcoin holdings amongst all the ETFs. But you also have Invesco, you also have ARK Invest. You have so many others like VanEck who are accumulating the bags of Bitcoin for their clients. Now let's go and look into the charting analysis, because I don't want to waste any time. So why could we see Bitcoin's price go to the upside? As you've seen here, after every halving event back in November of 2012, July 2016, May of 2020, and now April of 2024, every halving event that we have some slight corrections up and down, because we call this consolidation phase. We've seen prices go up and down before it ends up seeing its new trajectory of new all-time highs. And as you can see here, after every halving event, there's always a pump. And even here, there's another pump, another halving, another pump. What do you think is going to happen for April's 2024 halving event? Exactly. And you have to be very patient, because these pumps usually take up to a year. So this could possibly stretch out throughout 2024 until 2025. Another charting is allowing us to understand that after every halving event, that we could see even prices up to even $500,000. Yes, you heard me right. That could happen by 2027. And also, let's look at this chart by Plan B. He uses what we call a stock to flow, but right now we're seeing the RSI, which is the relative strength index. And based on his relative strength index chart, he's seeing for the first time an orange dot. What happens when there's an orange dot on the RSI? You've seen here that at this orange dot, we saw in the red new all-time high prices for Bitcoin. Also right here, an orange dot, a new all-time high price for Bitcoin. So forth, so on right here, an all-time high price for Bitcoin. That's just the RSI. Let's look at the stock to flow model. Now recently, in order for us to see and confirm that we're in a bullish trend, right now we're kind of in this consolidation accumulation phase, which is this blue line right here and another one right here. So after the blue dots usually follow the red dots, and we actually had our first red dot recently, and that's really good. Usually it's a very dark red before it hits to the bright red. So once it hits into the bright red, into the orange, then we'll see prices kind of retrace, and we probably will be in a bear market for the next 4 years, maybe even less than that. But just think of it like that. Right now, even he's saying with his own stock to flow model that Bitcoin will reach 500,000. That can happen between 2025 to 2027. But he's saying in his prediction that's going to happen in 2025. Now, moving on, how many days could this take for us to reach these new all-time high levels? Well, based on what this person is saying, Jesper, it usually takes around 500 days. So it's usually 500 days before we see us going into a new confirmed bullish trend, but also another 500 days for us to see a new bullish trend to all-time high prices. But shortly after those prices of the 500 days do end, then we see much of a bear market after that. As you can see, 500 days, another bear market after that. So we have to maybe experience another 500 days to the upside before we see another retracement to the bear market. This is just what people have shared with their own charting and analysis. Now, what we could see as another catalyst event is that next week, if you don't know, Hong Kong has filed a ton of Bitcoin ETFs. That's roughly around $25 billion just sitting in these ETFs that are looking for exposure into the Hong Kong Bitcoin ETFs. So not all of these $25 billion will be maybe funneling into these ETFs, but a good majority of that will be funneling into Bitcoin ETFs. And the reason they're doing this is because they want it to be passed, these ETFs to be passed by next week, because the Bitcoin halving is happening around the corner in less than 1 week. Another catalyst event that can send us to the upside are liquidations. Now, liquidations happen when there are leverage traders, either people placing short positions or long positions. Now, what happens is they can sometimes place a short or long position to the downside or to the upside. And that's why we've seen Bitcoin's price hovering around $68,000 right now compared to yesterday where it was $70,000, because people are feeling so bullish that people are making a ton of money trying to short or long their positions to the downside, and it allows them to have their bid orders filled. So that ends up shooting the price down really sharply, but also the opposite could happen. It could send the price up to new all-time high prices. Liquidation phases or even leverage traders can send the Bitcoin's price to further all-time highs in a quick trajectory that we've never seen before. Now, why it's really important to understand liquidations is because within the past 60 minutes, this was just reported. $210 million of liquidations in the crypto market just happened. That happens all the time within the crypto market. So I need to ask you something, which is, are you okay with corrections that could be even up to 60%? Yeah, typically we see in the markets, 15%, 30, even 30% in crypto markets, which is kind of huge to some people. If that happens in the stock industry or the stock market or the S&P 500, people lose their minds. But in the crypto market, 15, 10, 30% is nothing. We've been in these positions before. But if you see your Bitcoin portfolio now, say for instance, you buy $70,000 or even $68,000 Bitcoin right now, and you see it go down 60%, are you going to sell your positions? But if you do, you're going to end up losing money. Typically in the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency market, we see 60% corrections all the time. So the point is to hodl for dear life. This is all about holding on for long term, not trading short term. You are not a day trader. Bitcoin halving is happening in 8 days. It's happening very, very soon. So with that said, with the 8 days halving event coming up, don't be surprised if the Bitcoin price does plummet maybe 60%. But if that does happen, in my personal opinion, I would be accumulating at those prices. If you want to understand how Bitcoin's price is being compared to other assets out there, Bitcoin's be considered the digital gold. So let's compare the digital gold to real gold. So if you look back in 2009, if you invested $1 in Bitcoin compared to $1 in gold, guess what? Your $1 investment in Bitcoin in 2009 would be worth $91 million today. But if you invested $1 in gold back then you would only be making a $2 or 2x fold. That's not good in my personal opinion. Bitcoin is a set supply of 21 million. Gold has no set supply. Gold is everywhere. It's abundant. And also Bitcoin, you can buy for yourself on these centralized exchanges such as Coinbase, Kraken, Gemini, whatever it may be. Bitcoin is available for you to buy. But if you do buy Bitcoin, make sure to transfer your Bitcoin off of centralized exchanges into a cold storage wallet so that you own the custody of your own funds. What is my conclusion and statement with Bitcoin? No matter what, Bitcoin is going to go to the upside up until 2030. So as my conclusion and statement in terms of price prediction, we could expect between $100,000 to $500,000 by 2025. And also between 2025 up into 2030, we could see price of one Bitcoin between 500,000 to 1 million. Now that you know that, do not be surprised if Bitcoin's price corrects 60%. Do not be fearful if that does happen. That's the time to accumulate. We see these price dips happen before. You've seen us happen when Bitcoin's price was at 16,000 when I told a ton of people to buy Bitcoin. Everybody deserves one Bitcoin in their wallet. And when you do have that one Bitcoin in your wallet, hold on to it until 2025 or 2030. Just hold on to it or keep accumulating as much as possible, because the US dollar is getting weaker and weaker every single day, every single year, as the Federal Reserve continues to print money, while the US Treasury continues to put this country in the trillions of dollars in debt. Be very careful. Put your US dollars, hold it in a store of value such as Bitcoin. Now that you've heard my thoughts, what are you gonna do? I wanna hear your comments down below and I cannot wait to read them. Now, by supporting this channel, and if you wanna stay alert on all the timely manner updates regarding Bitcoin, you need to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join our Patreon page to receive all of our alpha calls and trades regarding Bitcoin and altcoins. Till then, see you guys girls next time.